Let's continue. So when we last left off, we were exiting the forest. And let's just see what happens next. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. So let's go through the gate first. Another dead body. I found the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this flashlight his? I saw the blunt wound on the guard's head, and looked again at the flashlight I was carrying. Oh no, please. So there's something here on the ground. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet and now this. Did I retrieve my watch? Yeah, why not? The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. I wish I could remember. Why was all my stuff missing? Yeah, that's a really good question, dude. Nothing here any to check up on. So now we go into the old auto part. Another noise. Auto part factory. So there's some lockers we can check. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. Okay, that's that. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front door, to the front that said "Danger, closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. Yeah, because we need to switch the power boxes. So let's go do that then. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the bulletin board on the wall. So let's read the bulletin board. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. So here's the first power switch, power panel. A power panel. Looked like this was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yes. And we have to make it green, so that's one. Another locker we can check. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. That woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened. And we need to push that one. It was shut tight. There was a rusty looking card slot on the side. Um, yeah, you can also find a magnetic card to open this door, but I'm going to use the power switches to get out of the factory. Let's go this way. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Looked like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. I wondered, was that god using this as a break room of his own? And people seem to like beer and alcohol over here a lot. And another locker. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much at ease when we all hung out. Okay, yep, hanging out, hanging out, hanging out with the family. Another panel, yeah, switch, and that's another one. Anything here? A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Yep. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Anything else here? Yeah, we already took it. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom though was a magnetic card. Did I take the card? Yeah, that's the card for the door when you can leave the factory, but I'm gonna take the other route like I said. Another panel that I hoped could get me back the power. Yeah, switch. And again. And again. There we go. And another one. Yep. And that's that. Nothing on the ceiling. Whoa, what a feeling. There's nothing on the ceiling. Another noise. And a boarded up room. So let's use the hammer. I struck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I removed the blanks, I left the hammer on the floor. Hammer time. So what's in here? This was my locker in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It it looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. This room was nothing but bad memories. Okay, nothing I can do in my own locker. Alrighty, more alcohol. There was a batch of messy, empty booze bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He shared a lot of alcohol at this place. Maybe that guard outside caught him hiding up here. So, yeah. So I think the power is back on and there's nothing much I can do here anymore. Yeah, nothing more I can do here, I think. I checked everything. Do I need to go in here? Well, let's see. This is some clanging. Another smudge of dirt similar to the one I found on the sewers was on the floor. It didn't look like the footprints of mine, but they were probably too faint to tell. Yeah, someone's clanging on the pipes. A large pile of building materials and debris blocked away. Or maybe there's just some rats scurrying through the ventilation shafts, I don't know. A rusted old regulator of some kind, sat dusty and unused against the wall. God damn it, what's all the noise? Within the dust there were deep scratches like from some kind of tool or blade. Alright, and some more crap. Yep, alright. Nothing else in here. Nope. That was that. And now we can go through this door. With the power box working again, the door was unlocked. Did I go through? Yes, you did. I pushed the handle and stepped through the door. A rack of flashlights hung on the wall. One of them was missing. Wait a minute, they were exactly the same flashlight as I was carrying. I turned my own over and looked at the bottom. Judging by the label, it definitely could have come from that rack. The still scent of the old factory gave way to the brisk odor of pine trees and dirt. I was back outside, though I wasn't sure if that was better or worse. The path beyond was dark and my flashlight barely illuminated anything. I wondered if it really had been taken from the factory. If so, how did I get it? That poor guard. He was probably just doing his job. Maybe he knew what was going on in that boarded up room. If he did, he wouldn't be telling that tale to anybody. I hoped the path led back into town. I needed to find some help. As we enjoy the sound of crickets and bullfrogs, or regular frogs, I don't know, or toads. Which one croaks? I don't know. Forgot. Alright, there's a car here in the ditch, so let's check it out. A pickup had smashed into the guardrail and stood silent. Was this a truck that those newspaper clippings mentioned? Was there really a body found here too? I looked closer at the tailgate and could see a series of dried streaks down his back. Inside the truck was dried blood and broken glass. I was surprised it hadn't been towed away yet. It looked oh, alright, it's the same stuff. A hole in the gate. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick, black bags. I saw a thin, greenish corner poking out from one of those bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes, you did. I cleaned the card off as best as I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Did somebody steal this from me? I wondered why they would have stashed it there. Yeah, good question, dude. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of television. Anything down here? No. Let's go up. There's someone else here. As you can hear the floorboards crackling. What the hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on a rack. This was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was it doing here? A speck of something dark and wet stained one of the sleeves. Okay. Blood again. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit here. Did I place it back on the cabinet? Yeah. I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Norman, what were you doing with all these? So let's find Norman and maybe we can ask him. Because he might be home. More blood on the floor. So I think Norman is quite dead, yes. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker and one of my few friends. I had in his town lay dead behind his armchair, beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were wide with shock, though they were already drying. Norman, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserve better? You probably did. Did I close his eyes? Sure, why not? I closed his eyelids down, shuddering as I did so. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think anymore about what was going on. I hope to hell Rachel had nothing to do with that mess. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me chills. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least I didn't remember ever doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yes you did. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. Maybe I can grab a snack from the fridge? No. Okay. Is there even some blood? Oh no, those are just post-its. Right. I thought there was blood on the fridge door. So why does... Oh, it's the same over here. I thought why was that little part on the ceilings lighting up? Was that just a radiant flashlight thingy? So nothing more. Oh, there's a... What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanger from the ceiling. I wondered where it led. Did I pull the chain? Yeah. I gave the chain a single tug and a simple folding ladder to the attic popped it down. So you might as well go up, dude. What's up here? More shackles? Why are there shackles up here? Anything of interest? A box. That was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Sure, why not? I opened up the old cardboard box and wasn't entirely surprised by what I saw. There were more of Rachel's things, more of my wife's clothes. Photo shoots, even that old radio I gave her. Why, Rachel? What were you doing here with Norman? I just couldn't believe it. My head ached with everything that was running through it. Well, maybe she just needed to get rid of some stuff. And Norman said, well, maybe I can sell it in my store. You don't know. Or maybe she was just cheating on you. For probably a very good reason, or not. So that's it over here. Oh, already went here. This is a bedroom. But no bed, but hey. Nothing more I can do here. Alright. Let's go down and open this door. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines and canned goods. I never went here much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and the fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. Alright. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. What was the matter, Norman? Cheated on your hydro bills too? There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. So that was Norman's place. Yeah, nothing more we can do here. It'd been weeks since I last seen Norman, and finding him that way still left me cold. Thinking of him slumped against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was fine. It was time to find out the truth. So yeah, we're almost home. Let me make a bad cut here. And we're back. It was locked. Yeah, it wasn't the right gate. Can I go back? No. Yeah, because there's an alleyway you can check out, but hey. And a mailbox, I think. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out, as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? Uh, yeah, sure. The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. Rachel's? I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did? Well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out, away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him, Norman, so don't you think you can hold that against me. Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing, my heart was pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. There we are. Oh, there was some blood on the. Yeah, okay. I had entered the. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Some blood on the fence. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. I'm thinking, should I continue this or make a cut here and have a little cliffhanger for the next part? You know what? I'm going inside. There we go. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and stained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. So, alright, you will hear me next time. I thank you for watching, and next time is the finale and my first ever Let's Play that I finished. Well, this is a short game, so really isn't that hard. See you next time. Thanks for watching.